So there's no
issues
problem
with
there.
that. The 5 houses there have that connection.
So Jason, was there a question about Provo River water users?
So I did talk to Lane Gray, who's kind of was over water, now he's over special projects here at the city, and basically there was nobody that would have any issues with that. It's pretty much downstream of any outtake or anything from either the water treatment or the water plant or anything like that, so there wouldn't be any issue that he could see for that. So it sounds like he's kind of, like I say, we made him jump through a lot of things. He's got,
And he's done it.
FEMA was the biggest thing time-wise. It took him 6-8 months to get that through FEMA, so. And then we missed, last month he was wanting to go. We made him jump through one more hoop to get the site plan, make sure everything was okay with the sewer connection, all that stuff, through our public works department.
So does the sewer need to be moved? Or is it okay where
So
it's at?
The existing septic tank.
Or septic tank, I mean, the
That
septic.
will stay. He's putting a new leach line, which would be further south along more of the Provo Road. So it meets the setback from the river itself, which is what the county was having an issue with.
Okay, yeah.
Is to make sure that's at least 100 feet off of that, which it does comply, and they did grant it.
So then I guess one question to ask him would be, is he able to do the plan that he originally wanted to do? Is a site plan?
And I think, if we can go to the,
That doesn't work, so I'll navigate.
Showed on one of these maps that it was fine.
That he was okay?
the sewer connection would be, that's Will Spitz, so there's probably sewer there. We'd have to go all the way up. There's no physical, there is a physical way, but it's very, very costly.
No fun.
Let's go to the next slide. So you can see there's a minor entrance right here.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
And you're driving through his new houses.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look to the right.
Oh, yeah, that's where it would have been. You were probably enamored.
Put the signs
of
up the other one.
Yeah.
So this was the
Well, and it
floodplain
was like
map
that.
that we
Put it
had.
out
FEMA FEMA determined that he was not in that special flood hazard area,
Okay.
so. Next slide. And this is the house, so my understanding is he's proposing the house to be 1,400 square feet.
Yeah.
He's able to do it. Okay.
Yeah, if you look at those cross sections also, yeah, right there.
Part of the site plan, he basically has got the setbacks, so because it's such an odd lot, that's kind of a front setback, and he's got some the rear and the sides to meet the sports zone. So, next slide, then of course, let's go back to that. So you can't really see it on this, but that's 49.27, 49.25.8 was the 1%. So he's then exceeding that by a foot, so he's over and above what. So there's, and I'll have a reporting back to FEMA just to make sure an as-built plan is provided, but if they meet these requirements, there shouldn't be any issue. Excellent. Oh, sorry, go back. So the septic tank is here. Okay, the new leach line is here.
Yeah.
So the distance from the river, because before it was something.
Oh, so it's further away, yeah.
It's quite a ways away, and that's what the county required them to do, is to move that. So.
So is the tank right next to the leach line?
It's right by the house. It's sitting, I think it's within, it's right here. You see the line coming out? They're connecting.
Oh, that's what I was
Connects
wondering,
in
how
there.
does it get from the tank to the leach line? Okay.
So it's coming here and then. That tank, according to Sean, was put in about 3 or 4 years ago, so the tank itself is new. They connected to the old leach line, the county said, no, it's too close to the river, so they. Let's see, I don't know what else.
So the previous owners
It's
changed
been-
that septic tank?
Yeah.
Well, that's news.
They put in a big septic tank too, didn't they, for the
We were
amount of square
concerned about it
footage
being
they
so
had?
old.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Remember, we were concerned, so that's great, if they got information that that's a new tank.
Yeah, so he came to the county and basically the county said, well, if it's new, but then the county said, no, you need to go through the permit process to make sure it was right. So they allowed him to keep the existing tank.
Yeah.
But move the leach line.
Which is even better than it's new.
Yeah.
That's what
I
we-
don't understand septic, I don't know anything about septic tanks, so what's the leach line? That's.
So it basically takes, you flush the toilet, it goes into a big reservoir and then there's a pipe that will take it. So it's a solid pipe, doesn't allow any leakage until it gets to that leach line, which has holes in the pipe.
And then it goes out
It
into,
just dissipates it.
okay.
Now, the solids typically will stay in the tank, which is why you have to have flush that out. The water that rises to the top will hit that line and go out.
Just go out, okay.
So it's not sewage that's going into the tank. Typically, that solid stuff stays in the tank and it's pumped out annually.
To clean it
How
up,
often you
yeah.
use it. My parents had a septic tank growing up, and so, yeah, every year or so, the big tank would come out, and suck all that out.
Yeah.
We had one too, and I have no memory of it ever being empty.
It's in Wyoming, right?
Apparently not.
So after Karen read 47 pages of JUB's report,
Oh, I only got a few part of it.
So I basically, we basically just gave you all the information. That was the report they had to send to FEMA, just to cover all their bases. So I gave it to you just in case you wanted to, if you're really into that detail.
well, I've had a professional relationship with JUB for a number of years. And they are great engineering firm,
Yeah, they've been nice.
so I trust them.
I don't know what's up. Could go to the next slide. That just, of course, what
I believe that nest is going.
currently, that's been there for years and years and years.
If it's gone, that's why you didn't see it.
Yeah,
Right.
well, and I wasn't looking to the
It may be
right
gone. I mean, I don't know if it's,
Seen it,
that's him.
one. Okay, well, maybe that's fine.
I think that based on what he submitted and based on the reports that we've received, staff supports the
doesn't matter.
granting a variance on this, to the septic tank or to the sewer connection.
Because we'll get all those work trucks, cement trucks.
Oh, here's his,
So that's, yeah, that's the latest. and
oh, I
greatest.
remember that, yeah.
Or well, but not latest, greatest, that's what he's proposed.
Jason, does the city have any requirements as far as landscaping is concerned? Are they allowed to take out any of those trees between the
They-
house and the river?
Yeah, they can maintain their property as far as, yeah, there's no requirement to keep X amount of trees. There is a requirement for, 50% of landscaping, but in this remote of an area, I don't know that there's not a whole lot of, we're not gonna require a landscaping plan. If they get a complaint from the witch to the next,
It looks
it's specified with.
It looks pretty landscaped, and I was thinking, those trees right by the riverbank are probably a good erosion protection.
Yeah.
So that was the basis of my question.
That was part of the review too, we made sure that part of the ordinance requires that their structure
Uh-huh.
doesn't cause the forest, downstream to get flooded based on their construction.
That might
So that was another determination that what they're proposing doesn't, divert or deviate water right into the lady's house type of thing, so.
That'd be unneighborly.
So, bottom line, I guess we don't really see any issues why the septic tank wouldn't be allowed based on the length, putting that sewer line. And that's the requirement in chapter 10. FEMA required us to go through about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and change all of our floodplain requirements. One of those is to have a direct connect to the sewer. And this is why they're here today, because it just is not impractical to require them to do that. At this point, the city doesn't even have a sewer line up to the park, so I think they have a septic tank as well. I think that's it. So it's really just a variance to chapter or section 10-5-1. It's a requirement for that.
So Jason, do we have to find that these 5 criteria you have outlined here on the agenda? Do we have to say something about that?
I would probably address, in the finding that, applies or. Any other questions?
I forgot what the 5 criteria are. And I didn't print it thinking it's 82 pages. Okay.
I know, I didn't, I printed for
For
it.
you, yeah. With
In my-
enforcement,
And my ink was starting going.
that's
away.
okay, I can read it, thank you. I didn't read that.
Cheryl,
There's
one, Cheryl.
one more right there.
Thank you for all those notifications.
She gave me a personal one, because we saw each other.
Oh, yeah.
Did you print the whole thing, Carlos?
What?
Did you print the whole?
No, there's another 50 pages. I'm like, I'm not
It-
gonna print all of it.
No,
It's
no.
like- But there was some pretty cool information in there, like, FEMA provided it, it's like,
It's like an old chair.
it's just,
Well, dinner.
you know.
And then to understand it
These
all.
whole things.
Oops, I keep losing this.
Side.
Oh, you expecting a lot of neighbors to come?
Chair.
I haven't heard.
You can make-
Well, there's
See a broomstick?
There's only 4 or 5 neighbors, yeah, so.
That's 4 blocks.
That's it.
There was a list about the people that. were-
Well, yeah, because they
That covered.
notice all
I don't know
the
if they
city
did that.
council and whatever.
Oh, is that what it was? I was.
Some of
they
it,
must have
yeah.
found some fly fishermen down there. I mean, their name. We played this spot so we could say it.
Yeah, that's a different story.
Well, then when you look at this, where it is
So-
in the city,
I'll take a
they're
closer look
almost
at
just
that.
not in the
So we
city.
can see that, see the snakes there.
Well, yeah, when you go out there.
Or we just, it was taken and just.
When I tried the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
That's for
And, and I would have.
Oh, you thought it was there? Oh, no,
That's really
yeah,
good.
it's down in the canyon. Well, and my husband was driving,
And there's 1%.
I was trying to find the road, I didn't see the road, but he saw the road, I guess it's way
It's
over
a lift that I need.
Yeah, you might need to, he's probably working on the bar. You might need to,
The neighbor does a person work by ourselves, so that's really disabled.
there. Yeah, it's hard to see.
I need accommodation to enjoy my property.
because that,
Yeah.
that's probably there was a blue ribbon.
Garden.
This is true. It's known everywhere in the world right there.
Although the handicap.
He actually has quite a bit
Yeah,
of
it's
property.
It's now for its life.
Yeah, compared to what these people have, he's got a lot of property.
I just want that because I'm, that doesn't.
But
Especially the
that'd be
main-
hard to build.
I'm not handicapped.
Wow.
I still have to follow it.
You could
Because I-
definitely build something this direction, but then you'd be away from the.
I can see
city.
your
Actually, that's too far.
If it's raining, you know.
If you go up the canyon, even in the winter,
Wheelchair.
oh yeah, up and down.
Like
the
seriously
guys
down
out there.
there.
To move around.
It's not easy pitching, is it?
Yeah, that's the
Looking
one.
at the.
When you
It's
If you
pitch so
drive
hard.
it, you never-
You gotta be pretty close.
You don't wanna do it in the dark, you know, especially up.
You met with all
there may
those
be any lights
parts.
That's a good question.
That maybe.
I mean, like that
No in the hatch.
But
the
yes,
you know, they're hatching at the end of the day. How they respond, I'm sure flies.
Maybe the people are going.
So I'll take a look.
I just do the simple stuff and I think I know what I'm doing, which I don't, like, official.
Well, and
every once
and
in a
even
while.
if you use your GPS on it, and maps and
Leaving
stuff.
for Alaska on Friday, it's gonna be a.
Hey, Karen.
Interesting.
Do you wanna just,
Working?
since we're just chatting, can we conclude so we can stop the recording and then we'll move over there? So maybe adjourn this.
It's
to the
cool
main
too,
meeting.
So what do you need to
So
do?
maybe just adjourn the pre-meeting.
The more summers
Okay.
it goes,
Then we'll stop the
Okay, so
might get some way to come
we're done with the pre-meeting, so we will adjourn, or do we need a motion?
Just, yeah, just.
Yeah, we're just adjourned, right? We don't have to do motions in here.
It's just so I can mute and switch to the.
Okay,
recording.
so we will adjourn this meeting.
Here's the thing, I don't know anybody's name, really. I know
This was, it was that, the flood zone stuff. It was difficult, it took a long time. That's because you're working with the federal government on that, so it just took a long time. Yeah.
Made it a lot easier for these guys.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Don't push any buttons. So this is off the record, but at the rec center, when they had the flood, they had the cover pop off and the lady was a little and just started, which set off the deluge system, which caused the water to come down. So pushing buttons isn't always the best thing.
All right, I welcome you to the Board of Adjustments meeting for the city of Orem on May 24th, 2023. And we're glad to have Mr. Hadlock here. I've asked Ott Dameron to give the invocation.
Consider this application. Sean Hadlock. Pray for thy spirit. Make good decisions here tonight. That's all.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, we have one scheduled item tonight, item 3.1, a variance that has been applied for by Sean Hadlock. And it's as a continuation from June of last year. Okay. Do you want to give us an update on where you're at? Now, we read this whole thing?
So I'll just go through a couple slides,
Okay.
if that's okay, and then we can
Yeah.
address questions if you have any to Sean. So tonight is a variance to section 10-5-1, which requires any new construction in a floodplain area to be connected to the city sewer line. This area is quite a ways up the canyon. It's about 2.25 miles or so up the canyon from the nearest area where they could connect into a sewer line. Staff, and the applicant obviously as well, has deemed it kind of unreasonable to allow or require him to spend millions of dollars to connect into the sewer, which is why it's before you tonight to get a variance to that section. There's 5 homes up in this area, up Provo Canyon. They've been there for quite some time. Sean owns the one that you can see the arrow pointing to the small home there. That's the lot in question, 2501 East up Provo Canyon Road. The question we had originally was the this floodplain was, or flood map was redone in 2020, which kind of showed that it was kind of going right through that property. So part of the requirements from last June is the applicant has gone to FEMA to determine whether or not that is in that area, or if it is, how high he would need to build that property up to be able to build a structure in that location. So he's taken the time and talked with Sean a few minutes ago. I mean, it's taken some time to get through the federal portion of that. So he's got that back. It's in your packet that they've determined that it's not in the special floodplain. It's still in the flood area, but it's not within that special floodplain, but has required him or asked him, based on his plan, he's going to build 1 foot above that minimum elevation that they would say, if we're in the area, this is the elevation that you need to be at. He's 1.3 feet above that. So there's no real issue that in their mind that it would be a flood hazard going forward. Here's the proposed site plan. You can see the 4927, which is what his finished floor elevation would be. You can see on the left-hand corner of your screen, the 4925.8, which is what the FEMA is setting the 1% flood elevation to be at. So he's well above that. When I say well above, 1.3 feet is significant in a floodplain area. Let's see. So you can see the home. I don't have a pointer, but you can see on the bottom of the screen, we talked about in the pre-meeting where the new leach line will be, the 70 foot. There you go. The county is issued a permit for that. That was another issue back in June. So he's complied with the county requirements. He's complied with our request, the FEMA requirements. He's also provided a site plan from JUB that indicates that he is above that. And so in our minds, he has complied with the things that, as we discussed back in June, that the board agreed with staff that, let's figure this out and come back and present it to the council or to the board. So this is the location of the home. I'll just quickly go through that. And then this is the proposed, and that may change. This is what he's proposing. There's no requirement that the board's going to require him to build this, but this is a 1,400 square foot structure. As long as he meets the setbacks and the height requirements, he could build whatever structure he would want to build as long as it complies with the septic tank requirements of the county. So, and staff does recommend, based on the information provided, that the board grant a variance to section 10-5-1 and not require him to connect into a sewer system, but allow him to install a septic tank. So be glad to address any questions, or if you have any questions for the applicant.
Anybody have questions for Mr. Hadlock? We were wondering if the building is still there. Has it been taken down, or is it still
Yeah,
there?
it's been taken down.
Okay.
Mm.
And you have purchased the property. Last time you were here, you hadn't, right?
Yeah, I just wanted, before I went into all of this, I wanted
Mhm.
to make sure that it was even a possibility.
Sure.
So yeah, I've since purchased it.
I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you put into
Mhm.
this. It's taken a lot,
Mhm.
probably some costs that we as property owners, not speaking as a city, sometimes feel it's a little excessive, but great job.
Mhm.
And when you look at that distance where they would require you to connect to the sewage, it doesn't make sense. Thus gives us confidence that, we use common sense and still the safety through the regulations and
Mhm.
ordinances that we have. So you've done a great job of doing that. So we know septic tanks work. They've worked for years and they're going to continue to work. So you have my complete confidence that this is going to be a great project for you.
Thanks.
So we understand from in the pre-meeting that the septic tank is relatively new.
Yeah, I think they replaced it in early 90s, but I had it inspected and cleaned out, pumped out. I wanted to make sure that was before I purchased it as well. I want to make sure that I wasn't going to have to install a new septic. I had no idea if I would even be allowed to install a new septic tank, but it's in good condition.
And that's the health department, I assume.
Yeah,
They-
they've
they checked
inspected
it out,
it.
didn't they?
They've gone out.
Okay.
Yeah, they've issued a permit for that septic tank.
Okay.
And approved the drain field plan as well. It's I think it has to be 200 feet off the river, which it is. And
Yeah,
that's what they're
I think the
concerned
biggest thing was the drain field, which they
Mhm.
worked out with the county.
Yeah. it's not the location of the septic tank necessarily, but the drain field. So I'm not far enough away from the river.
I'd like to compliment you too, Sean. Wouldn't work.
Yeah, I mean, mostly it's just me waiting around. I had to hire a bunch of people to do all the work, you know, so just waiting for it. Yeah. They did a really good job. If you have lots of extra money, I recommend them. But they were really, really great. I think they have a lot of experience in that. And then as far as like working with someone who keeps you up to speed and corresponds and lets you know what's going on, like they're really, really great at that. Not everybody does that very well.
From the reports that we've seen, you did everything that you needed to do. So
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah. And that probably helped you too, as far as making a decision.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's lucky that it's that particular lot. If for any of the other lots, I wouldn't have been able to do it because the drain field wouldn't have been 200 feet off the river. So really fortunate that that particular lot is the one that was available.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Any other comments or questions for the applicant? Okay. Are we ready to make a motion?
Oh, yeah.
I can do
Okay.
that.
All right.
I move that the Board of Adjustment grant a variance for the property located at 2501 East Provo Canyon Road to section 5-1, 10-5-1 by allowing a septic tank system to be installed and not require the new structure to connect to the city's sanitary sewer system.
I second that.
Okay, the motion has been brought forward and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion granted there.
Should we mention those 5 criteria, or is that just superfluous to the motion?
If you want to just add those, maybe, and Gary can maybe comment on that.
We need Adam.
Just incorporate the staff report, the findings in the staff report into your motion, and then that will be the findings of the board.
Okay.
So do we need a new motion?
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the microphone. So on just amend the motion to include the staff report and the findings.
Want to do that?
Sure. And I'll amend my motion to include the staff report and the staff findings.
I second that.
We have a motion and it's been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. So I think it's a done deal for you. Yeah. Okay, we need to approve the minutes from last time. This would be item 4.1. Any problems with that from our June 22nd, 2022 meeting?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Oh, because, yeah.
I move to approve the minutes. What date?
June 22nd.
June 20th.
June 22nd, 2022.
I'll second that motion.
And I will also second that and give a compliment to Cheryl for her fine work in putting all that stuff in there. That was extensive.
I love the links that are on there because then you can just go watch the meeting again because it was so long ago. So, okay, we've had a motion to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion has passed. We need a motion to adjourn unless there's something else that we need to deal with. No? Okay.
I'll make a motion. We adjourn this meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you.